Hi friend, Guy here. Every indie dev wants to make progress on their game, but what do you do when you have no energy, no motivation, and have a million distractions? In today's video, I'm sharing with you 3 simple ways I stay motivated and keep working on my game without burning out. No hashtag quarter nonsense. This is honest, simple stuff I do every day and actually works. Hi there! For those who don't know me, I am Gael. I am a solo indie game developer and I am currently working on my own survival horror game called Silent Corruption. In this channel, I share my honest journey as a solo developer, all the things I learned, tips and tools to help you also make progress on your game. You know those days when starting to do anything feels like a battle? Even thinking about opening your project feels impossible. Like you'd rather do anything else. And when you force yourself, it feels so bad. You're fighting yourself the entire time. You stare at the screen, barely get anything done. And this leaves you feeling so much worse than when you started. So how do you work on your game when you generally can't be asked? The other day, something happened that made me really mad. It was one of those things that stays on your head for the rest of the day. And when it came time to work on my game, I just wasn't in the mood. I couldn't focus and I was just scrolling through YouTube and just opening and closing the Unity editor thinking that will magically fix the issue. So I told myself, okay, 5 minutes. I'm just going to work on the project for 5 minutes. I'm going to do something small, and if after 5 minutes I still feel like I can't be bothered working today, I'm just gonna stop. And can you guess what happened? I ended up working for 3 hours. Basically, once I got started, it was really easy to continue because I had already built momentum. I don't know you, but I'm really terrible at transitioning between tasks. Even things I enjoy feels like a battle to start. So for me, the hardest thing is not working, it's just starting to work. Moving from one thing to another is where I get stuck every time. This is why the 5-minute rule works so well. When it's time to work on your game and you just can't be asked, just promise yourself you're going to work for 5 minutes. But be genuine about the 5 minutes, not like, okay, 5 minutes, but that's a lie, I'll keep forcing myself to work. No, like generally 5 minutes. And if after these 5 minutes you really can't be asked to keep working, then stop, it's fine. At least you try. Most of the time though, once you start working, the resistance drops a lot because the hardest part is starting. So next time you can't be bothered, try it. 5 minutes with no pressure. Worst case, you stop after trying, and best case, you get a lot of things done. Every game developer wants to make a steady progress on their game, but sometimes the problem is not the lack of motivation, it's that we have too many distractions. There is always something pulling you away from your game, and before you know it, the day is gone and your game's still there, untouched, and you feel like you wasted your chance. So how do you make progress on your game when your attention is scattered between random things? A few years back, I was between jobs and I had a lot of free time. Because of this, I would go down game dev learning rabbit holes. I would stop working on my game to learn how to do X because I thought that since it was also game dev related, it was okay. So I would put my game aside and will learn something game dev related instead, just to get better. And then when my script will improve, I will go back to working on my game. And yes, of course, it's important to make time to work on learning new skills. But in my case, I was doing it as a way to procrastinate because I was feeling self-conscious about my skills and I didn't want to make a failed game. Which, okay, fair enough. But the problem is, in this case, I had no motivation to work on my game because I was relying on feelings. I was letting my feelings run the show, and this made the progress on my game very inconsistent. I made one simple change. I started planning my week and putting time to just work on my game and only work on my game during these times. I didn't do anything complicated, I just brought down the times during the week that I would work on my game, and the rest of the day I could spend on doing anything else. This way, I also knew that if I was distracted with something, I would also have time to do that, which made working on my game so much easier. And when I started doing this, suddenly progress wasn't random anymore. I didn't have to rely on motivation because I knew when I was working and what I would be doing. And those little bits of time really added up a lot faster than I expected. Ask yourself, how important is you finish your game really? If finishing your game is something that really matters to you, then it deserves a spot in your week, even if it's just an hour. So plan your development time and write down your week. Otherwise, you'll fall in the trap of I'll do it later, and later never comes. The bottom line is, if you say that your game is important but you never really make time for it, you're pretty much lying to yourself. So, the best way to make progress in your game is to have a plan and a structure. A structure keeps your game alive and moving when the motivation dies. Quick thing before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, I put together a free mini book, my Indie Dev Survival Guide, to help you work on your game without losing your mind. It's packed with the stuff I wish I knew when I started game dev. Things like how to stay consistent, avoid burnout, and actually keep working on your game. You can get this guide for free when you join the newsletter. The link's in the description. And while we're here, hit the like and subscribe, because that way this video will be shown to more indie devs, and that will help a lot to keep the channel going. Thank you very much. There are days where you want to work on your game, but it's not like you're unmotivated, you're just exhausted. Mentally, physically, or both. Maybe you're getting sick, or life been heavy, or you're just really tired. And what do we usually do in this case? We push through anyways. And we force ourselves to work on a game, and we end up hating it because our brain is scattered and we're producing complete garbage. And we do this because we feel guilty if we stop working, and then we burn out and we make things worse and we start dreading game dev altogether. So how do you work on your game when you're really tired but you have to keep going? The other week I was starting to come down with a cold and I was really tired. My brain was basically useless. But in spite of this, I keep telling to myself that I have to keep working on my game because I have limited time to work on this and I didn't want to fall behind. But every time I tried to focus, nothing happened. I wasn't being productive at all, and I was just sitting there staring at my computer with nothing happening. So I listened to my body and I stopped working. Even though I was feeling guilty because I wasn't working on my game, I took the rest of the week off just to properly recharge. And instead of working on my game, I slept a lot, I was relaxing playing video games, and just basically taking care of myself. And you know what? When I came back to work on my game a few days later, I was properly excited. And I got more done in one day than what I had done in the previous week. The truth is, if you're too tired or unwell to keep working on your game, just don't. Forcing it when you're running on fumes doesn't build discipline. It just makes you hate your project. And yeah, I know that this sounds like basic, obvious advice, but a lot of us are really bad at taking a break. We force ourselves to keep going and we make it worse. And sometimes we just need somebody else to tell us that it's okay. If you need to rest, take it. No guilt, no excuses. So play a game, nap, binge a show, whatever helps. The important thing is learning why you're struggling. Your game will still be there when you're ready to come back to it. And when you do, you'll be actually faster, sharper, and you'll be a lot more motivated to keep working. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love this one over here where I go about why solo indie game developers burn out and how to avoid it. See you there!